back. Back on Instagram, everyone. I'm going to wait for people because I know there's people coming. Oh, now they're showing up. Fantastico. Well, listen. What is today? Today is it's Monday, right? So, day number 5 of my 14-day quarantine. And you can be the judge for yourself whether I'm actually keeping it together or not. I will say that it's harder than I expected. We are fundamentally social creatures that like social interaction. Last night I ordered food and it came from the restaurant downstairs and the doorbell rang and I was kind of excited to open up the door and at least get to talk to somebody. And it was just the bag. Like the guy had just left. It's almost like I'm a contagion without being a contagion. But whatever, that's all good. That level of solitude is it's solitary. But anyway, so I just it might be a little short today. Oh, hello Hamburg, Germany. Hello Ukraine. Hello Poland. Yeah, I love it. Somebody's from the Pegasus Galaxy. That's cool. I guess they have pretty good internet up there. Everyone's scared. Well, I guess so. I guess everyone's scared. Look, the truth is, let's address the fear issue really quickly. The fear issue is, it goes back to what I was saying yesterday for those people who did or did not see I mean, by the way, I'm trying to do this 2:00 Eastern time every day until I'm done with quarantine. But the fear factor is interesting. You know, if you look at things historically, this is a pretty safe time to be alive. I mean, you think about the threats that we used to deal with on a daily basis, from hunger and just death on a constant basis, to what we have now is we can be scared if we want, but that's a choice. The truth is, our lives are fundamentally comfortable, which is a whole nother set of problems, by the way. And that's one of the reasons I think there's so many obese people, is that our genes tell us when there's food to eat. Why? Because we're hundreds of thousands of years have been never having enough food. We see food, we eat food. And that's what our body's telling us. We're used to different levels of resource deprivation. And now we have the resources, and now we have fundamental physical safety. And yet we figured out how to scare the crap out of ourselves. Yes, the contagion, I get it. It's scary because it's invisible and nobody knows what the deal is. But the truth is, I'm just going to say it. I'm not scared on that level. And we got to enjoy the fact that we live in a relatively safe environment. That's my Pollyannish little nonsense for the day. I can go into something more cynical too. Yes, I can. Anyways, I want to start asking or answering some questions. What TV shows have you been watching? Well, good question. Actually, I haven't watched any TV shows since I've started, but if you guys have some suggestions, I'd like to know them. I need to finish up on Ozarks. I am waiting desperately for the next season of Barry to come out, because Barry is my favorite TV show, by far, in a long time. I'm going to watch the second season of The Boys with my boy Carl Urban, who's a friend of mine. And he does, if anybody hasn't seen it, go see The Boys. It's awesome. And Carl is so good in it. And I strongly recommend you see it. It's on Amazon. Season 2 rocks. Get through season 1 and look for season 2. That was such a plug, but you know what? I feel like, Schitt's Creek. I haven't seen Schitt's Creek, but it got a lot of accolades lately, so maybe that's something to look at. I'm going to do that. Let's see what everybody else is watching. Primeval? Okay. You know what? I'm going to write this stuff down. I like these suggestions, so I'm going to write them down in my special Write Things Down book. especially designed to write things down. It's actually one of those interesting books where if you take a picture of it, it scans it and puts it into a program. Very clever. Very clever. Okay. So, what did we have here? We had The Boys. We had Schitt's Creek. We had Primeval. What else did we have, people? Condor? Well, check it out. I don't know what Condor is. There's so much TV. My God. Hunting of Hill House. Okay, well, I'm going to look at that. Hunting of Hill House. Outer Limits. Right. Is that still on? Outer Limits. Flash. Outer Limits. Flash's been on the air for a while, hasn't it? I thought it had been. Lucifer. Vikings. My God. It's amazing. You know, you guys are like this dial-up Wikipedia. It's awesome. Don't you wish... Did you ever see that Woody Allen film where he's in line and the guy in front of him says something, some obscure intellectual point, and the guy is wrong, and it really drives Woody Allen crazy, and he says, don't you wish that like you could just have an expert on demand like that? And they start arguing, and he goes, oh, well, let me go ask my friend. And right then, miraculously, the author of that particular book or whatever shows up just to answer and help Woody Allen make his point, and then he disappears. It's kind of like what I got with you guys. It's awesome. Let's see. Staged Normal People. Okay, Normal People. Normal People. Staged. My God, I can't write this stuff down fast enough. Yeah, well, The Office, of course. Okay, there's too much. Eureka. I mean, I've seen Eureka's old, but yeah, The Expanse. The Expanse, I heard, is pretty good. Okay, I'm not going to write anything more down. It's just too much. But anyway, SEAL Team. Wow, somebody watched SEAL Team. I actually haven't watched SEAL Team. I did an episode of SEAL Team, but I haven't watched it. Okay, Ready Player One. I'll look at that too. All right, looks like we have a very kind of science fiction heavy group here, which is good. Anyway, I want to know how many people have watched C. And by the way, you want to get through like the first 3 or 4 episodes because it really kind of gets going. It's kind of cool. And I see that people like The Boys, and that's good. Afterlife, that's good. Okay. Okay, all right. Well, now I need to move on to a different subject because we are going down the TV hole. Yeah. Okay. So I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has about what it's like to be in solitary confinement. You know, I haven't started hurting myself yet, but you know what I need to do? I need to start scratching marks into the wall as each day goes by, like a prisoner of war. I think that might help. If I film this thing like a prisoner of war movie, that could be pretty entertaining. Maybe I can get a coconut sent to me and I can just start talking to the coconut. Never know. I did ask today for a stationary bike from production. We'll see what happens. Because I'm quite stationary and I need to not be stationary. Who knows if that'll work. Anyways, what do we have? Have I been overeating? Now, it's really funny you asked that. My reaction is kind of the opposite. I actually don't eat much at all. It's really interesting. I don't really drink much alcohol, if at all, or really eat that much, if at all. And it's really interesting. Everybody has different reactions to this stuff. I eat more when I'm doing things. I don't seem to eat when I'm not hungry, which is interesting. And that may be simply because I'm a really horrible chef. So that probably helps. So I have not been overeating, but thank you for asking. I've actually lost weight. I've actually lost muscle. So let's see. What do we have here? Oh, let's see. My favorite song. I don't have a favorite song. Does anybody have a favorite song? Come on. Nobody has a favorite song. You have a favorite song at different times of your life, right? Last night I was listening to John Prine That's the Way the World Goes Around. That's a great song. John Prine, who died of COVID. Very sad. One of the great American storytellers, songwriters, storytellers of our time. He's a storyteller songwriter, which I like. Let's see. What else do we have here? There are so many questions coming my way. I think that just passed me. But something about the Canadians torture me. Am I in Vancouver or Toronto? I'm in Toronto. Yes, I'm in Toronto. And let's see. Where is Newman? Newman is in Malibu, being really fancy and probably drinking matcha lattes and doing yoga with the girls. Damn him. Yes, I do have a lot of good books, and we kind of went through that yesterday, from Krishnamurti to this Richard Powers book on trees, which is really good. There's a lot of good books that I'm reading. In fact, there's maybe too many books I'm reading right now. Hello, UK. Have I voted yet? No, I haven't voted yet. I was called. They called me literally on a Tuesday, and they said, "Can you fly out tomorrow?" Now, mind you, they didn't tell me I had to fly out for like another 3-4 weeks. So it came as a jolt. And so I tried to find out, but they said I will be back on like the 21st or 22nd. So I should be able to vote then, because voting is important. And that leads me to another point that I tried to make. If you join me at cameo.com, I am donating proceeds to Rock the Vote. So they will go to help voter registration and facilitate the voter situation. I think it's really important everybody votes. Look, at the one thing we can all agree on, whether you like Trump or don't like Trump, is that essentially there's a higher level of civic engagement. So that's the plus. The negative part of that is that we are engaged on a civic level, but wildly misinformed, because there's no central data place to go to. So we're all fucked up with our data. It's amazing how completely convinced of our own bullshit we are. And the wonderful thing about the internet is that basically it allows you to find evidence of all your erroneous opinions, because there's always another moron out there that is going to ascertain or support your point of view. And then you go down that rabbit hole and you find all sorts of like questionable data to fulfill your nonsense. So we are engaged on a higher civic level, but perhaps in a slightly more irresponsible way than we were years ago. But anyways, blah, 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 blah. Tired of hearing myself talk about this stuff. Thankfully, you guys are not totally tired yet. At least I don't think so. Anyways, let's see. What do we have? Someone who... sorry, did I use the F-bomb? Is that a bomb? Is that a bomb? Like I can throw it like... Fuck. Fuck bomb. Okay, sorry. Maybe you know what? They're probably younger people. I should not talk about that way. Are you talking with Jason Momoa? Yeah. Talked to him yesterday. He actually texted me yesterday. Okay, so the choice was that if I left the next day and came in the same day as Jason, that I could stay with Jason, because you have to do a simultaneous 14-day quarantine. But the problem is I kind of couldn't leave that day. I had to leave the next day, which sends me on a different trajectory. So, he called me yesterday and said that he's losing his mind. And I hope he loses his mind before I lose my mind, because then at least I'll take some comfort in that. Like you're all on a boat in the middle of the ocean starving to death, and you want that one person to go crazy first so you feel good. And also that you could like that person who goes crazy, you can all like look at everybody else and like, he's going crazy, we should eat him, right? And then we all kind of secretly agree, and then I think that's the way it works. So I was kind of hoping that something like that. Yeah. Anyway, let's see what else we have going here. Questions. Who would you eat first on the boat? As I said, the person who goes crazy first. Yeah. second.